It's time. It's finally time. Oh man, sometimes I get a sort of feeling when I'm right about something. In my previous video, I pretty much said that Oda is pretty much leading us towards something that involves the top five supernovas and Sanji. And I feel like the top five supernovas are pretty much going to be put in a position where they're where Oda is showing us where they're going to be or where they're going to be in the totem pole of power within the future. In that video, my previous video, I pretty much said that Oda is pointing towards Luffy, Kid, and Law's future within the story. And this chapter alone has proven to me that Oda is doing exactly that. So I'm just very happy that Oda has this sort of setup that pretty much puts us in a position within the future on who will actually be the main rivals for Luffy, but who will actually be the future Emperors of the Sea. Guys, if this is your first time, my name is Mei-Ō, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, please like the video. It will really help me out. Once you're down there, subscribe, because it's time for more videos. It's time for a lot more things when it's coming on to One Piece. And if you're interested in that, then go ahead and subscribe. It will benefit you, I promise. And once you're down there, go ahead and put the post notifications on, ring that bell. It will help me out as well, and it will help you out to stay notified on any future videos that I am posting. But let's get on to the video. So within this chapter 1030, there's been a lot of information that's actually been given to us. And one of the things are the two most important things, and that is the ability of Law and the ability of Kid, and what their awakening ability could actually cause. And within this video, I'm not going to be really doing a review of the chapter, but I'm going to be talking about what I expect from Law and Kid and from Luffy, and who possibly is going to be the next two Emperors of the Sea that will step up and actually enter that position. If not that, then who will be the two people that actually will stay in the position as Emperor of the Sea? But let's get on to the video. So in this chapter, there was a specific spot that pretty much mentioned the main point, or the main point of where we're at. And in that point, it said that this will be a changing point for not only the Kazuki clan and the alliance, but for the emperors. And it sort of pans out to Luffy and Kaido. And during that sort of spot in the chapter, it then leads to a clip of Law and of Kid, but mostly Kid asking Law if he has awakened his ability yet. Which I feel like Oda is telling us something. He's telling us that the power of Law and Kid are going to be equal to an emperor after this arc is done. And that Luffy is not going to be the only one in that sort of terrain, in that sort of level anymore after this arc. The government is going to consider Law and Kid to be part of that conversation after this battle is done. But what does that mean? What does this mean for the rest of the story? Well, the awakening of Kid and Law has, for me, created a lot more questions that I'm probably going to be doing videos about. And those questions are going to be mostly about devil fruits and their awakening variant, and how it can be awakened and how they can actually tap into that. But not only that, the main question that I've literally is now like coming up is if devil fruit is better than hockey, or is hockey better than devil fruit. And I feel like this chapter is giving us that question, that answer, and I'm gonna go more into it on a later video. But Law and Kid, knowing their awakened forms, that means that they can compete with Luffy. And this sort of strength allows them to be more susceptible to any sort of future battles that requires them to use that awakening. And the awakening that they have, they first said that it takes up so much energy and stamina, but I feel like they're going to get used to that. That once this whole entire battle is done, they're going to get a boost of strength that goes beyond anything that we've seen them actually have before. And this is where Law and Kid is pretty much going to show up. And it's just so fun and so crazy that Oda is finally doing this with these two characters, especially with Kid. We've been waiting for something that Kid can possibly do that was sort of boosted up his fame and his glory within the story, but also within the One Piece community. And this is the starting point. And now I hope that Oda takes it far, because the ability of Kid's Devil Fruit, his awakening, could possibly be broken. We've seen this in so many different comic books and so many different stories that magnetism has a ability that could be extremely broken within any sort of world or any sort of planet, with examples like Magneto or other major characters within comic book history and with manga history. Magnetism is one of the most broken abilities that can actually be given to a person. And it's crazy because that ability that Kid has could be similar as what Whitebeard has, where it could create a catastrophic sort of ending within the earth. And it would make a lot of sense because Whitebeard was the main rival to Goldie Roger, and their power seemed to be extremely hand to hand, with the slight edge to Roger, of course. But Whitebeard had the ability that could end the world, and if it would be crazy, or we can now see how crazy Kid's ability can be, that he has to match the same ability as Whitebeard or even become stronger. And with the power of magnetism, that could be that power, the power that could be similar to Whitebeard's. And one of the things that Kid could possibly do, that I'm really hoping that he does in the future, is sort of like Pain's planetary devastation within Naruto. Pain was able to create a little small core that could attract a lot of earth to it and send it down like a meteor. And I feel like Kid could do the same sort of possibility or the same sort of technique as Pain. And I'm hoping that Oda is able to do that within the future. It would be extremely crazy. But one of the things I'm going to end up talking about is Awakened Devil Fruit, like I said before, and Kid, Law, and Luffy's Devil Fruit. It was going to be a part of that conversation. And the reason why I put Luffy into that conversation is because we're seeing that there's a possibility that Luffy at the end of this battle or the beginning of the next arc will awaken his Devil Fruit ability. And the only reason why he hasn't awakened it yet is because there's certain characters that are not on his level, and Oda doesn't want to make him too broken at the moment. But what this is also telling me is that not only are we going to see the awakened ability of Luffy, but in the next few chapters within the battles, we're also going to see the possible awakening of Big Mom's ability as well as Kaido. In a video I made a long time ago when I first started this channel, I said that Kaido has an awakened ability, that the only reason why he hasn't used that awakened form is that it takes up too much stamina for him and he's not going to be able to do much after this. But his awakened ability is going to produce a new form that creates him to be way stronger, and this form will allow Luffy to pretty much test out his full strength. And this form is telling us that awakened abilities are something different when it's coming on to zone type users. But let's talk about Law. Law's awakened ability is something that is really going to produce a lot more questions than answers. And the reason I'm saying that is because Law's Devil Fruit ability will allow him to pretty much ignore any major hockey boosts or any major hockey powers. And this is viewed as something that could go against advanced conquerors hockey or advanced hockey in general, which is kind of crazy that that Oda is creating this sort of system that awakened abilities can sometimes conquer the greatest amount of hockey power-ups, which means that Luffy still has a lot more growth to him. That once he perfects the amount of advanced conquerors hockey as well as every different hockey form, he's going to have to figure out a way to incorporate that within his awakening ability. And I feel like Oda is giving us that hockey is not the be all to power ups, but that there is a coin, like there's a coin toss. It's either half and half, and a person that could perfect both could possibly be stronger than the strongest hockey user in the world, which this will allow Luffy to be way stronger than Shanks, way stronger than Whitebeard, way stronger than even Goldie Roger himself. And this will put Luffy in a different sort of tier of strength within the story and within the past history of strong fighters. So it's just so amazing. It's extremely amazing what Oda is doing with the world of One Piece and with these three characters. It's time for them to be positioned within a certain spot. And what is that positioning? Well, we all know that Luffy's going to be the Pirate King. But where would that put Law and Kid? These two guys are portrayed to be near the same level or at the same level as Luffy, which means that they're of course going to be the emperors within the future. And that's what I feel like Oda is hinting to, that these two are going to be Luffy's main rivals and main like competition for that seat, and that even when Luffy gets the seat of the Pirate King, that Law and Kid could easily take that away from him if he is not careful. And I love that. I love that even if the protagonist, the main protagonist, is stronger than everybody else, that he still has rivals to the point where they can easily take his seat, and it's not a definitive sort of matter that Luffy is above the rest. And I love that Oda is pretty much flushing that out to a point that he's showing all the readers that Luffy isn't the strongest character within the whole entire story, that his position could easily be sort of taken. And I love that. But now, who would be the last two emperors if Law and Kid is pretty much the emperors of the sea? Well, I don't see anybody in the supernova pretty much being in that class besides these two. So it would probably end up having to be somebody that is sort of in that sort of category at the moment. And I could see Shanks still living on. I could see Kaido pretty much living on, or even Big Mom living on. But the one person that I don't feel like that would be in that conversation in the future will be Blackbeard. I feel like Blackbeard, Oda is telling us that Blackbeard is the one person that won't be considered an emperor after this battle or after the final war, because he is somebody that needs to be locked away or needs to be taken care of. But once again, guys, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I appreciate it. Please like the video. It would really help me out. Once you're down there, subscribe, put on the notification bell. That would help me out as well. If you are interested in One Piece videos, I'm going to keep on making One Piece videos, so stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys in the next One Piece video.